They've sort of underperformed this season, although they had a 5-2 record. At one point, they're now 5-4, and he said he just wasn't getting it done. Yeah. Now in the fastest half hour in television, we found out that Bobby Ross has resigned as the head coach of the Detroit Lions. They've sort of underperformed this season, although they had a 5-2 record. At one point, they're now 5-4, and he said he just wasn't getting it done.
Yeah.
At the exit 16W Hoffaplex, Ed McCaffrey had just enough stretch to put the Broncos up 7-0 over the Jets. Remember that guy? Name's Terrell something. His 4-yard touchdown run had Denver up 17-0. We're still in the second quarter. Curtis Martin got the Jets on the board to make it 17-7. It was 20-10 at the half. Then in the third quarter, Martin showed Davis how it's done. 31 yards, putting the Jets in Denver territory. And after the play, he gave Eric Brown back his jock. Turnpike Vinny to rookie Anthony Becht brought the Jets within 3 points. But then after a pretty pump fake by Brian Greasy, Ed McCaffrey was more alone than Boris Yeltsin at an AA meeting. The lead was back to 10. The Jets cut it to 7, but lost the game when Turnpike Vinny's pass to Richie Anderson fell just inches short. Davis had 116 yards rushing, his first 100-yard day since Super Bowl 33. Rod Smith and McCaffrey combined for 230 yards receiving. At the Silverdome, Autry Denson was galloping like Gene Autry. His 51-yard kickoff return had the Dolphins flapping their flippers against Detroit. Lamar Smith went in from 46 yards out to put Miami up 7-0 on the first play from scrimmage. On the ensuing kickoff, Miami recovered an onside kick, and then Smith stormed in from 8 yards out. Watch Tim Ruddy's blocking, very polite. It was 14-0, and Detroit still hadn't touched the ball. Jay Fiedler's 33-yard pass to Jed Weaver, that is, helped set up the first of 3 Olindo Mari field goals. Miami went on to win 23-8, and Detroit coach Bobby Ross was so disgusted after the game, he quit. Detroit lost quarterback Charlie Batch to a concussion. Jay Fiedler had a steady game, but Lamar Smith was the key with another huge game running. At Soldier Field, Curtis Enos's 11-yard run had the Bears up 7-0 over the Colts. It's Miller time again in Chicago. Jim Miller's back at quarterback for the Bears. He hits Marcus Robinson for a 34-yard score, 17-0. Trailing 20-zip at the half, Peyton Manning was picked by Walt Harris. Harris returned it 35 yards and a 27-0 lead. Stick the fork in. But Edgerrin James put the Colts on the board. Now watch this. Doesn't he fumble? He counted for 7, and then Manning hit James. That cut the lead to 27-17. Manning wasn't done yet. 19 yards to Jerome Pathan, and Indy was within 3 with 1:37 to play. The Colts recovered an onside kick, but Roosevelt Colvin forced Manning to fumble, and Chicago held on to win 27-24 in a big upset. And Miller, who played in Frankfurt, teamed up with Robinson, who played for the Rhine Fire, and the Bears D held Marvin Harrison and Edgerrin James in check. In Tennessee, Steve McNair unloaded, and Chris Sanders came down with the ball to set up Al Del Greco's 21-yard field goal. The first of 3 field goals for Al Del Greco gave the Titans a 3-0 lead over Pittsburgh. But Steelers tight end Mark Bruner broke a tackle to take a pass from Cordell Stewart 38 yards, and in the fourth quarter, the Steelers were leading 7-6. Steve McNair drove the Titans downfield, and with 4 seconds left in the game, Del Greco kicked his 3rd field goal of the game. Titans win 9-7. They controlled the ball for 39 minutes and 30 seconds, but couldn't get a touchdown. Eddie George had 98 yards. Pittsburgh gained only 186 yards in total offense.
He was outstanding playing. I think he moved our team. He converted some key third downs, made some nice audibles, and really threw the ball well. And that's a sweet win for him and our team.
The Raiders have been snake-bitten over years by this team. And not only by this team, people have been putting us down all along. And we wanted to come out and show people today, not only people, but ourselves and everybody in the community, we got a sold-out crowd. We wanted to show them that, look, we are a good team, and we can play with the best of them.
They threw the ball, what, 50, 60 times? And still lost? I'd rather take Rich Gannon stats. The W.
Tyrone Wheatley's 112 yards rushing showed people and the Raiders how good they are. They had 231 yards total on the ground. In St. Louis, Az-Zahir Hakim's 14-yard TD pass from Trent Green had the Rams up 7-3 over Carolina. But Steve Berline hit rookie tight end Casey Crawford for a touchdown to put the Panthers up 13-10 at halftime. Green threw a beautiful 4-yard fade to Isaac Bruce to put the Rams back in the lead. But former Berlin runner Justin Watson was trying to replace Marshall Faulk. The Rams were up 24-16. Berline's fade to Donald Hayes looks just like Green's to Bruce. The game was tied at 24. Joe Nedney's fourth field goal of the game from 46 gave the Panthers the win.
We just felt like we had the potential to score a lot of points. We hadn't been playing up to our level this whole season, really. Even in the wins that we've had, we haven't put a full game together. We just felt that our defense was playing well enough. We could go out there and score a few touchdowns. We settled for a few too many field goals tonight, but fortunately our defense played great and we had enough points to win the game, and we needed this thing bad. A lot more than they did, that's for sure.
Nedney is now 16 for 17 on field goals since signing with the Panthers. The Rams were without Faulk, Robert Holcomb, and Trung candidate. Watson had only 12 yards. The Jersey Giants went to Cleveland. Kerry Collins hit Ike Hilliard to put the Blue up 10-3 over the Browns. Amani Pinball Toomer got an assist from Marty Moore on this one. Bam, there he goes, and he goes over the end zone line. The Giants are up 17-3. Toomer's got that down pat. Manny McDaniel's interception had Doug Peterson frustrated. Chris Palmer's even more frustrated. His offense gained less than 200 yards. And Collins combined again with Toomer to seal a 24-3 victory for the Giants. Cleveland have now scored exactly 6 points in the 3 games since Tim Couch was injured. Kerry Collins had his best game of the season. Amani Toomer had yet another 100-yard game receiving. In Tempe, Aeneas Williams picked up Stephen Davis's fumble 3 yards deep in the end zone and ran it all the way back 103 yards for a touchdown to put Arizona up 7-0 over Washington. And that return was the second longest in NFL history. And watch Williams survive the celebratory tackle by Pat Tillman. Jeff George was in for an injured Brad Johnson. He hit tight end Steven Alexander to set up the Skins' first TD. Ike Lassiter laid Alexander out. Davis didn't fumble this time, but Chris Hepner missed the extra points. The Cards still led by 1. Watch Marte Jenkins spin his way past his own blockers. This 71-yard return put the Cardinals back into scoring position. It set up Michael Pittman on a 7-yard touchdown run, which gave Arizona a 16-12 lead. They hung on to win 16-15 as Chris Hepner also missed a 33-yard field goal for Washington in the 4th quarter. Pat Tillman had 14 tackles for the Cards, not counting the one on Williams. The Cardinals didn't have much offense, but added 2 interceptions of Jeff George.
And yet more hot news that has emerged this evening. That run has been added another yard too to make it tying.
Upon
104
further
yards.
review, Aeneas Williams
right.
got it. You notice he bowed back as he, as he got the ball. So it might have been 100. It looked pretty deep for 103. 104 ties the all-time NFL record held by Jack Tatum. Bam! For the Oakland Raiders. In Foxborough, rookie Sammy Morris continued to look good. This run put the Bills in scoring position. And then Steve Christie duly obliged to put Buffalo up 3-0 over New England. Doug Flutie celebrated his return home to Boston by hitting Jay Reamersma from 9 yards out. The Bills led 10-0. With Drew Bledsoe injuring his hand, John Freese was in at quarterback for the Pats. He hit Troy Brown for 17 yards to set up a game-tying touchdown. And the touchdown was scored by rookie J.R. Redmond, his first NFL score. Were tied in the fourth quarter. But in overtime, Sean Bryson's 15-yard run put the Bills in position to win the game. And guess who? Steve Christie lined up to kick a 32-yard field goal. It was good. The Bills win 16-13 in overtime. It seems like every Bills win is 16-13 in overtime. Buffalo's defense held the Pats to 208 yards offense. Flutie's now won 2 out of 3 as a starter. 4 Bills backs combined for 141 yards rushing. In Cincinnati, it was the same old story for the Ravens. Jamal Lewis runs them down into scoring position. Then the offense stalls. Matt Stover kicks yet another field goal. But before I start reciting poetry again this week, watch what happens next. Trent Dilfer, yes, that Trent Dilfer to Brandon Stokely. Trent to Brandon, what is this, Beverly Hills 90210? The Ravens get their first touchdown in 6 games. And Trent wasn't fooling around. He hit Shannon Sharp for another touchdown. Ravens up 17-0. Maybe it wasn't my poem, maybe it's just the Bengal defense. But in Baltimore, touchdowns are like a number 31 bus. You wait 6 weeks and then 3 of them come along all at once. It's Jamal Lewis again getting them back into scoring position. The rookie running back showing why he was the 5th pick in the NFL draft. And then TD, touchdown. Trent Dilfer hits Shannon Sharp for his 2nd touchdown catch of the game. Dilfer's 3rd TD toss. And the Ravens win 27-7. They owed a lot to their defense, which stopped Corey Dillon cold, 16 carries for 23 yards. Lewis had 109 yards rushing and 70 receiving. In Seattle, John Kitna put the Seahawks up 7-0 over San Diego with a TD to Sean Dawkins. Then Kitna hit Christian Foria for TD number 2. Seattle's up 14-0. But that was the end of the O for Seattle. The Chargers held them to 128 yards total offense. Tony Darden's interception put San Diego into scoring position. And no, that's not rugby you're watching. Kitna, an unhappy Seahawk. Trailing 14-6, Jim Harbaugh hit Curtis Conway for a touchdown. The 2-point conversion failed, but the Chargers added a field goal to take a 15-14 lead. And then John Kitna showed some of that old Barcelona dragon magic. He scrambles and then he hits Darrell Jackson to set up a field goal attempt. And as time expired, Ryan Lindell, the man who replaced Chris Hepner, hit from 48 yards out. Seattle win 17-15. San Diego maintained the league's only perfect record. Another miserable offensive day for Seattle, but they won anyway. In Philadelphia, Emmitt Smith's 7-yard touchdown run put the Cowboys up 7-0. Smith ran for 134 yards on the day. This 31-yard scamper helped set up another score. The score came on a 48-yard field goal by Tim Sater, which had Dallas up 10-0 at halftime. In the second half, the Eagles' Darnell Autry took a Donovan McNabb pass 23 yards for a touchdown. That tied the game up at 10. Then tied at 13, the game went into OT. McNabb and Autry combined again to put the Eagles in position to win it all. Former Berlin kicker David Akers lined up, 32-yard field goal. Watch the coaches. The Eagles win 16-13 in overtime. Randall Cunningham's return to Philadelphia was quiet, but the Cowboys wasted 204 yards rushing and lost Rocket Ismail for the season with a sprained knee. In Atlanta, Tampa's Donnie Abraham intercepts Chris Chandler, but Chandler makes him and Chidi Ahanotu look silly as he makes the touchdown-saving tackle himself. Sean King gets the score on a pass to Dave Moore. The Bucs are up 7-0. John McLaughlin blocks a Dan Straczynski punt. The first time Straczynski's had a punt block since 1993 when he was playing for Tampa against Atlanta. Straczynski recovered, but King hit Keyshawn Johnson to give Tampa a 14-0 lead. Then King found Keyshawn again, 29 yards this time in the fourth quarter. The Bucs were up 24-7. With Chandler out with yet another concussion, Danny Cannell combined for 2 touchdowns to Terrence Mathis, but it wasn't enough. 27-14 the final. Sean King, who threw 6 touchdown passes in the first 7 games, has now thrown 7 in his last 2. In the Superdome, Jeff Blake to Andrew Glover had the Saints up 7-0 over the 49ers. Then Blake hit Willie Johnson for his second TD of the game. New Orleans led 14-0. Blake's third touchdown pass in the first half went to Joe Horn. Jeff Blake hasn't had a half like this since he was in college, and don't you think he knows it? And Blake wasn't finished. A 22-yard strike to Horn put the Saints at the goal line with time left in the first half. And then Rastaman Ricky Williams took it in from the 1. It was 28-0 at the half. And that was all she wrote. Even though Jeff Garcia hit Terry Jackson for a second half touchdown, that wasn't enough. The Saints win 31-15. Blake had a big game, 20 for 26, despite being sacked 4 times. Joe Horn had a huge game, 9 catches for 167 yards.
New Orleans going 6-3. Ricky might take you through the standings.
In the East, Miami's still playing good football and a game up on Indianapolis and the Jets. The Jets losing 2 in a row and Buffalo winning 2 in a row. Watch out for the Bills. In the Central Tennessee, 3 games up over Baltimore after that losing streak Baltimore had. Pittsburgh not out of it yet, but not enough offense to really contend. And out west, Oakland running away from that division, but Denver, the team on the rise. Kansas City reeling after that loss to Oakland. And remember, we've got Oakland and Denver next week. In the NFC, those Jersey Giants are on top. Washington 2 losses in a row. And remember, the loss last Monday means that the incumbent party is going to lose the presidential election. Don't like it, but it's true. Minnesota 7-1 sitting on top of the Central, and we've got them in Green Bay, a Monday night game, which we'll show you tomorrow. Detroit on the slide, Tampa Bay on the rise. And finally in the West, St. Louis now with another loss, and New Orleans, as I said, on the rise. Don't count Carolina out completely. And the individual leaders, Edgerrin James still leads in rushing. Isaac Bruce now in receiving. Peyton Manning has finally passed Kurt Warner, who's out for another 3 or 4 weeks. And notice in kicking, Matt Stover, 87 points already. Marvin Harrison, the leader in receptions.